Welcome to the Business Insider Podcast, where we interview the top business leaders in their respective industries. Today, I'm excited to introduce a special VIP guest. We've got Anosh Vaswani here. He is the founder of Egnite Marketing, and they specialize in lead generation through paid ads. Anosh, thank you so much for coming on the podcast today.
Thank you, Riley, for having me. Excited to be here.
Absolutely, as am I. And as you know, I've got a bunch of questions lined up for you. And I'm sure our audience is wondering specifically what you guys do and really what the major outcomes are for your clients that work with you. So before the podcast, you would give me a brief rundown on what that looked like. If you wouldn't mind reiterating that to the audience, that'd be amazing.
Yeah, sure. So we do offer all things digital, right? So we offer SEO, websites, and paid ads, but our core focus is lead generation through paid ads. And we are not only just generating a lead, we are also getting a conversation started for our clients. So all our clients, they're busy, they're running around doing multiple things. Once we generate a lead for them through paid ads, which is through Facebook, Instagram, Google, LinkedIn, we choose the right medium for them. And once we generate a lead, we just don't deliver a lead and say, here's the lead. We also put them in automation where each lead is followed up through text, email, and voicemail drop. And it's just not one time. It's we continue to follow up with them multiple times so that we get a conversation started for our client. And at which point the client has to take over the sales conversation, whether it's a booking an appointment or whether it's setting up an appointment, whatever that may be. We have worked with realtors who we have a client who's been with us for 4 years and they've sold 10 to 15 homes, totaling close to a couple of $1 million in transaction just from the leads that we have generated for them. We've had Cairo Spa, Med Spa expand from one location to two because of the leads that we generated. We've had wedding clients or wedding photographers who just started and they have been booked for multiple months in advance because of the leads that we have generated through paid ads. So that's our core bread and butter.
Makes perfect sense. Now, if you had to define your superpower or the unique skill or insight that really sets you guys apart in your space, what would it be and how has it shaped your success?
Yeah, so I think the unique skill set that we have is we've been doing it for the past 7 years. So we have a lot of data, and that's the key is to use data that you have from previous campaigns, insights that we have seen, what tweaks works, and as you probably know, Facebook ads is not stagnant. It's not something that you can set it and forget it. That's a misconception that a lot of people kind of get into, right? They say, "Oh, if I start an ad, why do I need you to manage it?" Because literally Facebook will change stuff on a dime. They will take away targeting options. They might take away certain, ways to do certain things. So that's where we come in because we've been doing it for so long, and we look at every campaign almost on a daily basis. So we are in it every day, and we know how to overcome that barrier, which a lot of other people can't, and especially small businesses, they're busy running their business. They're not in Facebook ads, they're not the experts, and that's where we come in and help with our expertise.
Yeah, on the Facebook ad side, I mean, even to, kind of your point about needing to manage this on a daily, weekly basis, a lot of those ads as well, once people in a certain area or location see that ad for a certain amount of time, it's like we also need to switch that ad up too. Obviously, you're going to be running different campaigns in different areas. But like once that ad's out there for long enough and it starts to dry up, or you have the same demographic of people seeing it over and over and over and over. It's like you do need to kind of switch that around a little bit to increase conversion. So yeah, for sure, man. Um, so I'm curious, Anosh, what inspired you to pursue your current path, man? I mean, how did you get here?
Yeah, so I went to school for marketing, and after getting out of school, I went and worked for multiple large and small corporations, working as a marketing manager director. And at about 10 to 12 years of my experience, I got laid off twice for no reason of mine, right? One was just the 2008 economic downturn. Things were just kind of going south, so marketing had to go. And on the other side, the last one was my company just got bought over by a larger company, and they had to reduce, headcount. So at that point, I kind of had the experience, or at least I knew that small businesses need someone like me, which is kind of an outsourced marketing and help them. And that's when I started Ignite Marketing. And initially, I started with doing, or at least focusing on SEO. But what I found with my conversations with small businesses were they all wanted something now, instant, right? And that's where I focused on doing lead generation through paid ads because that's something that a client can see a clear ROI and they don't have to wait around for months on end for SEO to work and compete with a lot of others out there. Now, we have, as we have grown, we've had recommendations, people referring us for, we start off with lead gen. Obviously, if we do well, they want us to take over their SEO, their social media management, their website management, which we do offer. But that's the crux of me starting my own agency was pretty much getting laid off a few times. And I'm like, all right, it's time to go out and do this on my own.
Yeah, I feel like that's such a common thing we see with marketing in the corporate space. It's like I don't really understand it fully because I was never in that position myself. But why do you think that is? Like, why do so many marketing directors and people in that area just get laid off for no reason?
Yeah, I think it comes down to the company culture, right? And it also comes down to be honest, the marketing individual, right? Most of the people, C-suite or people who are not involved in marketing, they might see marketing as an expense, and
Yeah,
uh, and marketing individuals need to do a better job of changing that narrative and showing an ROI, right? Instead of being an expense center or a cost center, we could be a revenue generator. And how do you tie that down, right? But all large, the larger you go in a corporation, the larger the barriers are to show that ROI, and it all depends on the organization, right? And the last job that I got laid off was they had no marketing person, period, and they'd been doing business like it was 1990s. They were literally, and this is like 2010, they were still running ads in yellow pages, right?
boy. Oh
Was
boy.
a self-storage company. So they had 18 locations. They were doing well, but they had never had someone do marketing for them. So when I came in and expanded that role and was showing them ROI, that's when they kind of bubbled up to be an acquisition target for larger companies. So I think it's a combination of where the company is and what does the marketing department as a whole, do they do a good job of communicating that they're not a cost center only. They're much more than that.
Right. Now, how powerful has networking been, to your success?
Very much so. So when I started my company, I was based in Phoenix, and I'd been there for a job, so I was there for a while, but didn't have a network. So I started going to networking events there, and within 6 months after that, I moved to Dallas. Now, I didn't know anyone in Dallas, had no network, literally nobody, right? So I moved here, and I'm like, hey, I need to get the word out there. I'm on a stringent budget because I'm trying to get this business going. And I literally started going to networking events as many as possible. And there's a whole bunch of networking events at any city, any given time, which are free. And there's paid networking groups too, which if you can do that and commit to it, there's like BNI and Master Networks and a whole bunch of others, which if it makes sense, you can join that. But I literally started going to a lot of free networking events and going to the same events multiple times and meeting people. And I'm not trying to sell someone at the first meeting. My job is just to, hey, exchange business cards, learn a little bit about what they do, and then everything is about follow up. So everyone that I come back to, whether they are a good fit that I think they're a good fit or not, I still send them an email saying, hey, let's get on a call and let's talk. If they take me up on that offer, I'll get on a Zoom call. We'll learn a little bit about their business, and I like to add value to what they're doing. So if they are new to networking, I might say, hey, you're at different events that I go to that I recommend you go to. If they're looking for a referral partner, just like on Friday, I had a meeting with a chiropractor, and he's looking for a referral partner who's a strength coach or a physical coach, right? And I have my client's husband is a strength coach. So I said,
Nice.
hey,
Okay.
yeah, so let me make that introduction. You guys are in the same market. Maybe you'll work out, maybe not. But that's adding value. And it's not just asking the chiropractor saying, hey, can I run your advertising? Can I do stuff for you? Right? I'm trying to add value, build some trust there. And then eventually, if things change, if they are looking, I hope they talk to me. But it's a long term plan. But the market, like going out and networking, I think a lot of people kind of frown upon it, or sometimes people say, oh, it doesn't work. But just like
It does.
anything, it works. It works as long as you work it, you know?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I give a lot of credit to, my early success as an entrepreneur, to networking, to my mentors. And it's like if I didn't take the time, which I still do daily, to make connections, to speak with people, I wouldn't be where I am. And I think a lot of entrepreneurs can say the same thing. It's just so powerful. So I think that's a great insight. And kind of pivoting to a new topic now, how is AI impacting your industry and what are you guys doing to utilize it?
Yeah, so it's everywhere, right? So AI has made life a lot easier for testing variety of ad copy, images, combination of both. There's a whole bunch of AI tools which are built into Facebook and now even Google Ads, where we can utilize already the inbuilt tools to make better decisions. So 7 years ago, we would literally, create three different ad campaigns, three different images, and try to test each single image, spend some ad spend, try and turn off ads, look at it more closely. We don't need to do that now. We can just upload a whole bunch, let AI take over, and they will figure out which one is working and double down and spend more money on that, right? Obviously, you want to still keep an eye on it, that it's trending in the right direction. But it has definitely made life a lot easier, especially even for writing ad copy, right? There's a lot of stuff that when we do it, we pretty much start looking at different pain points. We come up with the framework, and then we'll use AI to say, hey, give me like two or three different versions. And sometimes it's good enough to utilize it as is, but sometimes you can say, hey, let me use this, let me use this. And then you come up with your own winning ad, which is where you need that human touch.
Makes sense. Now, specifically speaking on, what type of clients you work with, do you work in all industries? Are there certain industries that you primarily work with? Or just so anyone out there in the audience knows, the types of businesses and people you're looking to work with.
Yeah, so I focus on mainly B2C. So anyone who's trying to reach a consumer directly, any industry that's trying to reach a consumer directly is my ideal audience. We haven't done a lot of B2B or e-commerce for that matter. So those are things that we kind of refer out if anyone does have that need. But our focus is on trying to reach that consumer directly, and this could be any small or local business who's trying to reach that end consumer directly.
Now, in a rapidly changing world, where do you see your industry going over the next 5 to 10 years? And what are you guys doing to stay ahead of the curve?
Yeah, so like you said, utilizing more AI and utilizing AI to make those efficient decisions faster is where the industry is going, right? I think a lot of people also kind of overstate that, saying, hey, AI can do all of these things. Like Facebook obviously is pushing a lot of people to just use their targeting and say, let us handle it. Yes, in some cases it makes sense, but not in all cases, right? And that is the trick, is to know when to utilize what and how to ensure that we are not behind on some of these new things that are coming up, right? Even creating content, right? We in the past we were spending a lot of time creating blog posts, making sure that our broken links were not, for SEO sites. We were making sure that there were no broken links. But with the tools that are out there now, you can pretty much create a lot of these things or automate a lot of these things using AI, and then focus on wowing the customer rather than doing manual, tasks that can be outsourced and can be done better through AI versus you yourself doing it.
Now, Anosh, now that we've talked shop for a while, I've got this game I like to play with all my guests called the Lightning Round. Now, I never tell them about this before the podcast, but my audience loves kind of seeing the business owner outside the business. So I'm going to ask you 10 quick questions, and you give me the first answer you think of.
Okay, sounds
Coffee
good.
or tea?
Sorry, say that again.
Coffee or tea?
T, 100%.
Cats or dogs?
Dogs.
Favorite quote or phrase that you think about often?
There's never a traffic jam on the extra mile, so go the extra mile for your clients.
Ooh, dude, that's a good one. I've never heard that before. Where'd you get that? Did you make that up yourself?
No, I think this one is from Bill Gates or someone. I'll have to look up who's the original source.
No, that's a good one. That's a really good one. What are your three favorite hobbies outside of work?
Spending time with my kids. I know that's cliche, but spending time with my kids, playing pool, and going to the gym.
That's awesome. Favorite movie?
Godfather, one.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. That's one of mine too. That's right. Have you seen Goodfellas?
Yes, I have. Yeah, all
Dude,
of
those
those
are
are good. Yeah.
yeah, those are some amazing movies. Have you showed the kids them yet?
Not yet. They're too young for that.
Still young? Okay, gotcha. Yeah,
Yeah.
especially Goodfellas, man. That movie can get wild.
Yeah, yeah, they need to grow up a little bit more.
Favorite TV show or streaming series?
S- I would say Office or Curb Your Enthusiasm. That's like those two kind of Larry David Seinfeld kind of
Yeah.
comedy.
What's your favorite book, man?
Think and Grow Rich. Absolutely game
Yeah, that's a
changer.
banger.
I think I started reading books much later, but I highly, highly, highly recommend that. That's spot on for anyone who's struggling, and it's not financial freedom. It's just if you need to kind of break some patterns, then think about reading that book. That's my number one.
For sure. One bucket list item you've already accomplished in your life.
Um, I would say being a homeowner and being a landlord. So I think that's like on the side, I think I wanted to be a homeowner when I was 30, which I did, and then uh, get a rental property, which I did. So that's a good accomplishment, I guess.
Awesome, man. And what's one bucket list item you haven't accomplished yet?
Um, Travel more. I think I haven't, I want to travel to Mauritius. I want to travel to Africa. I need to do more of that.
And Anosh, for anyone out there in the audience that, is looking for help with marketing, not really sure where to go, not sure what to do, and maybe they want to work with you, what would be the best way for them to get a hold of you?
Yeah, they can just go to my website, which is Ignite Marketing, and it's Ignite with an E. So uh, just go to my website or Google my name, and I should show up. And you can reach out to me via LinkedIn, Facebook, whatever your method of choice is. But most of my information is on that website.
Amazing. And guys, I'm gonna link all of this stuff in the description. So definitely go check out what they're doing. They're helping a lot of people. And if you've made it this far in the podcast, you can obviously see that Anosh is doing a wonderful job. So if you're out there, you're a local business owner or anyone in those industries, definitely go check out what they're doing. And Anosh, thank you so much for coming on the podcast today, man. It was a pleasure having you.
Thank you, Riley. Appreciate you having me on.
Absolutely.